Good morning. Welcome back. We're going to work on our tank here this morning. Get it put back on a running gear, which we need to wash and not paint. So we're going to start there. Yeah, we can do it inside. Not a big deal. It won't take very long. So we'll clean that up real good, real fast, and then we'll kind of roll stuff back over there and get our tank hung up in the air and bolt it back down. There, does it look different? Nope. It's a little cleaner, especially the hubs. That's about it. Okay, we'll let that drip a little bit. I'm gonna get new bolts, so I'm gonna go through the parts bin or the bolt bin and see what we can find, and we'll get this thing put back on there. Here's the old ones. They're in pretty rough shape, including the one that we broke. New stuff, flat washers, lock washers, nuts, bolts, should be good. I gotta walk back out here to the grain system and pick up my camera that I attempted to use yesterday and didn't because the battery was dead. I'll show you putting that tank on there. Phil, I think, went to go get the transitions that we need so we can finish this project this afternoon, but I can show you kind of where we're at with it. So this is our old slide gate that we took off of our overhead bin that's original to the bin, was put up in 1993. It's the slide portion there is kind of bending a little bit. It's rubbing and just getting worn and difficult to open. Also, this ring is super thin. Like, I don't know if that was that thin to start with or if it's worn. I don't know how it would wear exactly, but yeah, there's just not a lot of material there. And so we replaced that yesterday and put a new gate up there that's quite a bit heavier and thicker and good. It's just, it is a square design instead of the other one was a rectangle, and our transition to go from the 16-inch, that's a 16-inch square, to the 12-inch drop tube that we have doesn't work. So Phil is getting a new transition. One of the challenges we had to deal with was the chain fall. So that arm there with the sprocket on it that's connected to this chain, that's how we open the gate, right? So watch, I'll pull on this and it opens that. Super nice, but the shaft coming on the new gate is in just a little different location than it was on the old one, and that made our shaft kind of sit on an angle. Specifically, this is lower, so it's tipped up, and it doesn't sit on that chain fall perfectly. So we may need to lower the bearing on that end, trying to drop it down somehow. It's maybe a little difficult. I mean, it works, but it's not great the way that it works right now. So anyway, that's our challenge, and then getting this bolted back up there, and Phil's getting the pieces to do that. Anyway, back to this project. We've got to lift our tank up and roll our gear underneath there. So we're going to do that. I've got our straps hooked back up and lift up on the forklift. Lift up with our hoist. This thing is super handy, by the way. This overhead crane that we've got. It's not the nicest one in the world, you know, it doesn't have electronic or whatever. It doesn't move itself back and forth and all that stuff. But I can push a button to lift stuff, heavy things, and it's awesome. Well, 3 out of the 4 went on super easy. I got the front 2 in no problem, got this one in no problem, and then this other one in the back here was, not that it was terribly hard, but just wasn't quite lined up right. I had to use the pry bar and pry it in just right, and yeah, we're setting down on there. Everything was good, so we need to tighten the bolts up. Bolts are tight. All right. Now, I am well aware that some of you think that I should have painted that running gear. You're probably right, but it's not in that bad a shape, and it is super easy to take that tank off. Like, it's literally 4 bolts. So if I ever decide I want to do it in the future, it won't be that hard to do, and we can do it. But I didn't want to do it now, and I don't feel like I really needed to. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to pull this thing forward, get it off my paper so we can get our paper cleaned up. All right, well, we got the shop cleaned up there and everything done on that tank that we can do for now. I need to get it out of there probably, but we're gonna work on the dream bin project here. Phil's got our transition pieces and getting stuff put together, what we can do on the ground. Whoa, oh, took a minute today. We're gonna run the man lift out there and get it hung up. It shouldn't be too hard to do. There's our down chute. The other one I believe is already over here. All right, well, we've got this thing up here. Check it out. We have all our extension. We put a squared around on the bottom, so hopefully it funnels it into the truck nice. We'll have to kind of watch that when we're loading the first truck. But everything is up there, and we, let's see, this way. We extended our chain fall down a little bit to make it level. That's what that angle iron there is, because it was bolted up where those top bolts are, and it was just off a little bit. So the way this works, you pull on this chain and it turns that, which opens our slide gates. Go the other way and it closes it. So we've got a universal in there, knuckle, to give us some play, and so it's not have to be perfectly aligned. And yeah, that all should work. Phil's getting a grease gun. We're going to grease it and be done. We are done with this little project. So we're done with the man lift for it. I'm going to take the man lift down to my seed warehouse down there, so we can get working on my heater and piping and conduit and all that fun stuff. We're going to use this. It should work. Sometimes it lets me steer while I'm moving, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why, but we're going to put some gas in it and fill it up first, and then we're going to take her down there, which means driving it down the road at all whopping 3 miles an hour, I think we move. I found another problem with it. The gas gauge doesn't work. It's full, but it says empty. I think this thing might burn a little bit of gas, because Phil had put 5 gallons in there, or 7 gallons, I think he said, before we started, and it wasn't full, but you could see it, and I put a lot in there. I don't know how much it was, because we don't have a fuel gauge or a gauge on the gas tank, but it was a lot. You guys ever seen the video of the guy that took a scissor lift on a beer run, got pulled over by the police, and was going up and down? That's what I feel like right now, driving this thing down the road. It's a good thing this is a very low traveled road with not much traffic, because we can do stuff like this. It's not very far, but this is not very fast. In fact, I'm going to pull the speedometer up on my phone, GPS speedometer, see how fast we're moving, but I can't video that because it's on my phone, right? Wait, I can record this. I just have to use a screen recorder. 2. We get a whole whopping 2 miles an hour out of this, and it's really hard to drive straight. Maximum speed 3 miles an hour. Oh, we hit 3 at one point. We must have been going down a little hill or something. I don't know. Gosh dang, keeper on the road. It doesn't like to let me steer while I'm moving sometimes, which makes this a little more challenging. If I could steer and drive at the same time, it wouldn't be so hard. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's what you get in a cheap man lift. If I would have spent $30,000 on this thing, I would expect it to be better. I did not even close to that. All right, we made it. We have a couple of jobs to do before we take this inside. Oh, we gotta crank up the spin speed here. Okay, see that star? That's Christmas decorations. We gotta get it down. Fortunately, I have just the tool for the job. Albeit a little bit slow going in the counterclockwise spin direction here. A little very slow. It's much jumpier going the other way. Again, if I had paid big money for this, I would expect it to work. I didn't. I bought this cheap, and it works well enough. Not without its problems, but well enough. I mean, look at that. How awesome is this? You get right there. That's awesome. So we can grab it. We'll have to get our cord. It's duct taped down. But we can grab this and take it down and store it inside. This is also part of the reason I did not want to vent my heater to the north end of the barn, because it would come out right here. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just figured out how to hang my star there. So yeah, that's why it's part of the reason we're gonna vent it to the other end. Also super handy for the Christmas lights that I had on the front here, although my wheels are mispositioned to be able to drive this way. So we extended all the way out, and now we'll push her back in and get turned and drive down there to get to the rest of them. Nice. Also, we need to have a little talk, because some of you guys like to tell me how I'm supposed to wear a safety harness every time I'm in this. And I believe you. You're right. In fact, there's hooks for it right there. I am well aware. Do you understand, though, that the way that I put these Christmas lights up here, like, I didn't show you that for a reason, right? Because what I did was park the forklift underneath there right outside the door, lift the forks up high enough that I could climb onto the roof from there, and climbed up the forklift mast. Like, this is way safer than that. Or if I didn't do that, like when I hung that star up there, do you know what I did then? I parked the forklift in front of the roof there, and I had my 5-year-old at the time lift me up. I stood on the forks, and he goes, and he lifted me up there so that I could put it up there. So take your pick. Do you want me climbing up the forklift, having a 6-year-old move me around, or using this much safer contraption? Because you do what you gotta do sometimes, and that's what I had to do to get the job done. So I did it, and I don't regret it at all. But I understand this is safer. Oh, it's so awesome! I can just reach it. It's fantastic. All right, we're done with what I needed to do outside here. Coil up my lights, put the star away, and put this in the barn. Plus, if I had a harness on, do you know what kind of stupid stuff I would try? Like, if you can't fall, you can't, so you do stupid things. And, yeah. Anyway, I looked around there and figured out what we need to do. Plan is to work down there tomorrow. Brock's coming tomorrow. He can help me. We'll get the heater hung, hopefully some gas line run. We'll go from there. Oh, all right. Well, I'm getting tired. I've had enough for today. I'm gonna go home soon. We're gonna go in the barn here and see if we can get Dad to show you what he's been working on. He's got a pretty cool project he's been doing. So Dad's been working on upgrading the wall out here. Had done the door before, but what do you got?
Wood up in the mouth.
It's junk scrap wood. That's what he says. Yeah. What is it?
Sycamore. Maple. I got a little bit of ash.
Okay.
Red pine.
Red pine. Is this the maple?
Yeah, that's the maple.
This is sycamore.
That's sycamore.
It's got quite the grain pattern to it.
This is the ambrosia maple.
Ambrosia maple.
It's got the wormholes in.
Is that spalted, or what do they call that?
No.
Oh.
Spalted is the rotten stuff.
This is just pre-rotten.
Yeah, just wormholes.
Cool. He's trimming windows out and everything.
It's my wood shop.
That's right. Put his saws back in here. You need to run some plugs along this wall.
I am.
Electrical.
Don't worry.
I'm getting there. Yep. Very good. See, these are tongue and grooved boards with this little bevel on them that he made on his fancy new wood shapers that he's got. Tongue and groove, see? Very nice. Impressive. That's what that is. That's impressive. That's all wood that he's, cut the trees down and sawmilled the boards and done the whole 9 yards. So, I'm going to go home. Thanks for watching this one. Like, subscribe, questions, comments. Leave me all your safety police hate comments. That's fine. I can take it. And we will see you guys tomorrow.